anyway, so we're going to roll right into it. So today we have Tavern Preachers, right? You gave me a different name before, but I like the Tavern Preachers, right? So we've been talking a little bit before, obviously. We went live, and we're going to share some of them stories that you guys were talking about. What was that guy's name?
Never mind.
All right.
He's not going to be this conversation.
Okay. Hey, we'll just we'll skip right through that one.
There you go. Good idea.
So, hey, if we can just introduce yourself. Lee Cunningham to the left, bass guy.
Yes, sir.
Justin Kelly, vocals.
Hey.
And rhythm, right?
Yes.
And then we have another Kelly, Keith Kelly. We have lead guitar, right? And then Ian Pierce smacking on the drums back there.
Yes,
like
sir.
I said, welcome, everybody.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
The first question I usually ask is, how'd you get this band's name?
You want to take that one?
Yeah.
The real story. Because I know you're trying to think of something. I'm not going to tell that story.
We did an interview about a month or so ago, and the question came up, and I was not allowed to give the true answer. They shut me down on it.
Who did?
These two.
Oh, just pretend like they're not there.
They said that was not the image they wanted to put out there. So we'll just say that we voted on names, and this was the one we come up with that wasn't already taken. I do have a stock answer that I give when we're asked about it at a bar, and it's because we preach the joys of alcohol and rock music. So we're the Tavern Preachers.
Well, I can appreciate that. You know, everybody asks me outside of the podcast where Pickle Tato come from, and I never tell anybody. The only people I ever tell is people actually come on here. You know, not that it's a big secret, but, you know, you have to come on the podcast to find out. Same thing for T-shirts. You know, we don't sell T-shirts. We just give them to the guys who come here. So, you know, something a little special when you come on. And like I said, we appreciate you coming on.
We did go through a lot of names, too, and we ended up settling on it. We went 9 Lives was a thought, too. And as Justin's, we've all been through trials and tribulations in life, and it was like, we're lucky we're surviving some of this stuff. So 9 Lives seems to be but we decided not to because it sounded too much like an Aerosmith song. Yeah. Or the album that they have.
We couldn't get the .com either.
And that and the .com.
That's a big one.
You know, cats.
Right.
No, we ended up with this one, and we sat on it for about a day or two, and nobody could come up with anything better. So that's where we stayed.
Well, it's unique. I haven't heard anybody else with that name, so I think and it's fitting. I mean, as soon as I heard the name, you know, after you think about it for a little bit, I'm like, yeah, that's a really good name. I like it.
We Ian had another band that he was in before this, and the guy that he was in a band with, actually, we've done a couple of shows with him. We went down south and played, and he actually came up with a really good song called "The Tavern Preacher," hopefully that'll get out and be heard. But it's pretty good. His take on it and the way he wrote a song about it was really interesting.
Who came up with the band first? I mean, was it have a couple of you guys played together before and then just brought the other ones in, or how did you guys form?
No, I had put a post out on Facebook, and I was like, hey, you know, new musician in Huntsville looking to start a band or join a band. And a couple of days later, I guess I got a message from Lee off of Facebook, and he was like, hey man, we should get together. He's like, I got a drummer, would like to put something together. And, you know, but we actually never played before that. He was like, hey, instead of getting together to play, you wanna meet at Yellowhammer and just see if we can get along.
Yeah.
And I was like, that'll definitely help, because you know, you could play with anybody, but if you can't hang out outside of the stage, then you got some problems. So we hung out for about 4 hours, and we didn't practice until 3 or 4 weeks after that.
We spend too much time together. If you can't get along, it just ain't no sense in it.
Yeah.
Facts.
So that was that back in January of 22?
It was January 22.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Ian and I had met about a year and a half, 2 years earlier. We'd met each other at one of the open mics in town.
Okay.
During COVID, I had moved up here from the Auburn, Phoenix City area.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm going to play some music, and started in the open mic. And you want me to tell it? Because we always tell the story. It has to be told.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Bring it out.
It was during COVID, so this was one of the first open mic nights that I was aware of that really kind of the bars opened back up and all that good stuff. Yeah. And so I
old
joined
Rocker
up
Republic.
right down on beside Furniture Factory downtown. But anyways, I just started meeting people, you know, introducing myself. I play harmonica also, so I was kind of filling in places and playing drums and all that. But anyways, so Lee's playing in a band, they were up there playing a couple songs, and of course I enjoyed it. Went to the bathroom. There stands white-haired Lee, and I was like, "Hey man, y'all sound really good." And he was like, "Thanks." Okay. And there we go. We've been friends ever since.
Yeah.
It wasn't at the sink. We were at the urinal.
Yeah, exactly. We were both emptying out. So
Measuring each other up.
and we just ended up talking. We both smoked, so we were in the smoking spot and just shared music interests and all that kind of stuff. So that's really where we started, and we'd always been like joined up with other friends and stuff like that. And then we met Justin, and just here we are. You know, it's as simple as that.
You guys just had an album you just had put out, right?
Right.
Yes.
So that was, where can we get that?
Right now, you can get it at any of the shows. We're out. We're selling physical copies. We're on all the streaming services.
Okay.
So you can catch us out or just download it. And I think the album came out the 15th of March is when our official release was, and we went live on all the streaming platforms about a week after.
Every day is a battle, struggles to win. I tell you how many nights she's prayed to be normal again. She gets so tired of hearing, child, lift up your head. As the world falls down around her feet, broken she said, in a crowded room I stand alone with every drink, try to numb the pain of a past that's screaming out my name. Will I ever find peace in my mind? Do I sail with it all, heal my heart and my soul? Stumbles to the kitchen, pour his morning cup again. He tries to remember what the pictures say he did. He ain't been clean since he was a young man. Not a bridge he hasn't burned. Thinks about all the hurt he's caused. Broken, he said, in a crowded room I stand alone with every drink, try to numb the pain of a past that's screaming out my name. Will I ever find peace in my mind? Do I sail with it all, heal my heart and my soul? So this is for the lonely, and this is for the you, and this is for them beat down and broken low, and this is for the abused.
So, are you guys related?
Yeah, a little bit.
You are?
That's my baby boy.
That's your
I knew he
baby
was
boy.
gonna
How
say
about that?
Yeah, let's wait for it.
It looks like it.
So, I guess everything he knows you taught, right? Did you get brought in from the beginning? I mean, was it, I think it was didn't you guys have like a 3-piece before and then?
For a while, we actually started out as a 4-piece,
Okay.
and then we let our guitar player go, and we continued as a 3-piece for
6-8 months.
6-8 months, and then we brought in another guitar player. He ended up having some health issues, and so he started filling in, and he's been with us ever since. So
About a year.
Yeah.
Just last year.
We've had a guitar player each year, so he's at a year right now. So we'll see what happens.
yeah, we're counting the days.
Actually, Actually, this April will be a year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the end of this
Yeah.
month, as a matter
In
of
this
fact.
month. Sure will.
So, where are some of the places that you played around here that has turned out to be a pretty wild shows? Some of your most ones that you remember, you're like, okay, we'll never forget this one.
Tina,
Now, I know you
sticks out
got
to
one
me.
because I can see your face.
You go with if you go with entertainment, bar situation, fights, all that kind of stuff. We've had a handful of those. As a matter of fact, one of our first shows, the cops were called because the guy was just trying to get up on stage. And it was at Voodoo, and if you've been to Voodoo, you know how big the stage is.
About the
This
size
big.
of that stage right there.
Right. So, and there's just acting like an asshole, and just the cops were called. They come downstairs. We're like, hey, the cops are here.
We've had some interesting stuff at the Shag. I think we had a fight bust out at Page one night.
Yeah.
Mac Steakhouse, we've had a fight.
Oh, Mac's Steakhouse was good up in Athens. That
I
was awesome.
I do think Tina's was probably the best fight we got to see, though.
Yeah.
Oh, there's never any fights down at Tina's. I don't believe that.
That was an
I mean, it
interesting
was
fight.
it was a messed up circumstance, but
I'll say this: the Max one, because it was a fiance. They were getting married, and we don't know all the details to it, but these guys, it was 30 minutes of a fight. They were running back and forth outside, in and out until the cops came.
Wow, it took them 30 minutes to get there, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the couple had just asked us to play their wedding, and then all of a sudden they got in a fight, and the cops came, and so we lost that show. But that would seem like it would have been a good show.
it would have been fun. Yeah.
So you're saying you played their wedding at Tina's?
No.
Okay, that's what I got out of that. I'm like, okay, they got married at Tina's. Is that what you're saying?
No, they were out celebrating before the wedding, and then asked us to go if we would play it. But then they were the object of the fight. So
yeah, this is at Max. That's the one at Max.
Yeah, we didn't get to finalize the details before that fell through.
But I'd say good shows. I mean, we've been able to play Panoply concerts in the park. Originally Huntsville when they were doing that.
That was a good show at the Bell. We've had some really good shows at Stovehouse, Leisure Lawn. There's been some good shows there.
Where'd you record your album at?
We ended up recording it with Joel Monet from the sound guy from Shag. He does he's a producer and he does recording for a lot of people local. And we ended up going back to him and working through our album. It was pretty good time. We ended up really happy with the product.
We've had many people contact us through different sources, whether it be Facebook or made comments to the email that we put out asking, hey, who should we have? Who should we, and they're like, your group was probably the number one.
Nice.
I know you might not hear that much, but I just wanted to tell you that your reason you're on here, I think you guys sound really good, but one of the big reasons that brought it to our attention is your fans contacting us. So kudos to you guys.
Awesome.
We appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
I said we have the best fans in the world.
Yeah.
Check cliche off.
I was waiting for my time.
You've waited your whole life for that one.
I have.
I'm going to chime in. So, is there a reason you went with Joel over other producers? Because historically, he's a metal producer.
So I'll ask that question.
No, I'm asking it.
Oh, so you're going to be oh, okay. Well, come here and say so.
I'm going to edit it in.
Well, you might not be able to hear it.
Oh, you will hear it.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, that's an easy answer. Joel, we started playing the end of the first year that we got the band together in 22. We booked our first show in December that year at Shag, and Joel took over the sound there in January of 23. And he's always been a big supporter of us. He was putting together an original showcase in April of 23, and he knew that we had 4 or 5 songs already written, and he actually offers a spot on that showcase, and we completed the songs on our first album to be able to play that show. And Joel was just always a big a big supporter of us. And I know he has been typically with the metal thing, but Joel's just really into music, and he's always been really, really supportive of what we're doing and encouraging. And he's always put us into spots to be able to get out and get on stage and work on our show and everything else. And so we had also heard a lot of the work he had done with other artists, which not only in the metal stuff, I know he'd recorded a few things from Ali Free before we started working with him that was a little outside of that metal thing. And I mean, it sounded great. And then we heard some of his originals stuff too, that he's got a good ear for it. And
he's got an open mind too.
He does. And he was really easy for us to work with, I guess. That was the biggest thing. It was a comfort thing.
He knew our sound, like he knew what we were going for. So it was kind of a no-brainer with us when he admits, he's like, I would like to work on some of these songs. And we were like, yes.
It kind of forced us to push more songs, because at the time we were like 4 or 5 songs in, and then February 23, he wanted us to join up with 2 or 3 other bands and do like a showcase type thing. And we kind of pushed the rest of the songs that we had. We were just kind of fiddling with them a little bit, but it put us on the fast track to say, hey, we want to get y'all's 45-minute set, all originals. And we had 5 or 6 about the time. And then we just kind of sped through the other ones to get it done.
Yeah, I just wanted to shout out Joel because I think he's pretty badass.
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion, having a background as a metal producer is pretty awesome because they are usually well-versed across genres, which I think enhances their capabilities as a producer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, even like when we would sit down and listen to what he had recorded, he was hearing things that we weren't. And it absolutely was from that metal background. Like he could hear the things that needed to happen, and we would make it happen. So it was pretty cool. Well,
like you say, it also kind of put a nice original spin on what we were doing. I mean, the kind of songs that we had written and that the way we were doing them, it was kind of nice to hear Joel's take on it, and it sort of made us start leaning more that way in performance and everything, because, you know, what he ended up getting down on the album was, you know, it sounded better than what we started with, and it gave us a different idea about our approach.
Well, I'd just like to point out that this is a milestone. I've been trying. How long have we been doing this? 1.5 years, 2 years?
Not sure.
2 years I've been trying to get him on the damn microphone to ask a question or say something. This is the very first time. That's what caught me off surprise. I'm like, well, do you take them? I mean, I'm extremely happy right now that happened.
Well, awesome. That's great.
it's cool.
So,
glad we could help with that.
It kind of threw me off there, and I'm still kind of thrown off because I don't know where
learn how to swim.
Yeah. So who does the booking for the band?
My wife had a booking business, TLC Booking. My wife Tara, she started doing booking bands. I guess the end of 20, I was in a blues band, and she was trying to help me out, and so she started booking, and she got to working with other artists besides us. And so when we put this band together, she was already doing it, but it's been kind of a mix between her or Justin's wife and Ian sometimes. I mean, but primarily that's who we've been going through is TLC Booking.
Yeah. Is there a transition? Because although I like to play drums or pretend like I know how to play drums, and those have heard me play, you know, I pretend. So I've always wondered or imagined there's probably some kind of transition where at the beginning you're trying to go out looking to get booked. Has it happened for you guys to where they start coming looking for you, or is it like a mix?
It's a mix. They're not nearly looking for us as much as I was like.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that from several bands. You know, obviously you guys are very popular too, and I'm just wondering how these guys that are running these, you know, establishments, what, you know, are they waiting for people to contact them, or, you know, are they out looking to get the people that they want? You know?
I'd say about 95% they're waiting on us to call.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot in the pool in Huntsville. There's a lot of bands.
Oh yeah.
There's genres and all that stuff too that mix up. Because I know when we first started, when I moved up here, I had my band down home still. That when I went down home, I'd play a couple shows here and there. And at one point when we started, I had 3 bands in the mix just up here. Mm-hmm. And I was just going around the bars and asking, because I just moved up here, so I'm bar hopping, trying to play. I'm like, hey, I got a band. Y'all do music? And that was kind of where I started doing it. And so some of the experiences we've had with some venues is they book shows, you know, every quarter. And they're like, I'll just book you out for the year. Then you go to other places and it's like, all right, I'll book you this weekend. Can you bring a crowd? And it's just the ins and outs of the business part, really.
Yeah.
And we've been fortunate enough to really carry a lot of venues over once a month, some sort of like once a month, maybe twice every year or something like that, So we've been very fortunate in that department. And we like to pride ourselves on being easy to work with, and especially with bars. And I think that's a big point of pride for us on that end.
I think the biggest thing is being on time and ready. There's some bands out there that are no longer bands anymore, but
we've gotten shows because
we've seen that they're like coming in a half hour late, hooking stuff up, and I'm like, I don't know.
That would kill my anxiety. No, I couldn't do it.
No, there's no way.
I would be, just trying to put myself in that situation. I'd be freaking out.
My wife's upset because I usually like to be there 2 hours before showtime, and I'm like, it doesn't take that long to set up, but I don't, just in case something goes wrong. I like to have time.
Yeah. Like I was telling you a story before, you can spend, I mean, we did a venue that we talked about before we started hitting the button here. We did a venue. We were there 2-3 hours beforehand, had everything set up, and then at the last minute, it goes to crap, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So even getting there early, doesn't really help you out too much. But so yeah, I feel you. Have you ever had a problem like that where you're all set up and you get ready to play, and you're like, what the hell just happened?
We have gone to shows and I have forgotten the mixer.
Oh, that's not good.
And your bass.
I've forgotten my bass twice.
Aren't you the bass
player?
we went down south, and I just recently switched to an all digital amp and pedal board and everything. And we went down south to play a show, and I forgot it at home. And we were 4.5 hours away, and all I had was a guitar. Yeah, we were in Phoenix City.
We went back to my hometown to play.
And I had a guitar, and he was like, "We'll run through my DI or my Fishman preamp,
pedal,
and we'll make this work."
And I had a distortion pedal, a bass distortion pedal, and I had a preamp pedal. And that's what I gave him to dial in a sound.
And all the guys, we were in my hometown, and everybody that I know, it was either the little boutique places that were already closed because it was a Saturday. And it was like 7 o'clock. Everything was closed, or all my buddies were either playing or wouldn't answer the phone. I was like, y'all got something? Nothing. So we figured it out.
We had a drummer on here. I don't think he told the story on camera, so I won't give his name because I don't know. I can't remember if he told the story on live or not, but he forgot half of his kit. So I think he had a snare, bass, and a hi-hat, and that's all he had.
Oh wow!
The whole and this was a metal band, so
you might need it. All the pieces. I've forgotten cymbals an hour away from home, and I was fortunate enough to have my dad meet me in the middle, and I ran back. I was like, had everything set up. Yeah, I'm set up. Cymbals.
So this guy also, we did a little mini tour over in Mississippi, we get all the way there, and we're about 5-6 hours away from home. He forgot the legs to his floor tom. And so for the entire weekend that we were there playing shows, he was using drumsticks.
Had broken drumsticks. And I just so happened to save them. I said, because I just bought that Gretsch. I just bought a new kit, and it's a smaller kit. It's a little Catalina Club, and it fits for smaller venues. Gets a lot more room. And I was like, well, this will be easy to tote because we're doing the road thing. Yeah. And I set it up in the bar. It was ready to go. I was like, don't have my legs, because my other ones I would move everything at once. Yeah. I would trade everything out and not keep everything. That's when I learned to keep all hardware in the car. Yeah. But yeah, I used broken sticks the whole time.
Well, I'm known to play with ladles and spoons and all kinds of stuff that, of course, I ain't playing live to anybody. So, that might have been when I might have been drinking. That might have happened once or twice. Those that know me get all that. But so talking about traveling and everything, how often do you guys go on like tour stuff like that? Is that the Mississippi? Is that your first one and only one, or?
I guess that was the only one that we pulled multiple shows out of. We did that year before last.
Year before last,
23, May.
Yeah, 23. I guess we did that, and then we did a little show down in Phoenix City. That's something we're trying to get into. We just hadn't tried. I guess we just hadn't tried hard enough to put put a couple of things together that could justify getting out on the road.
Do you see a jump when you do that kind of stuff? I mean, as far as like your streaming stuff and
We did see a jump in followers, at least
Yeah.
on the social media end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess back then we didn't have anything out other than live videos on our YouTube channel or
Okay.
something, you know. But we picked up a bunch more followers for social medias.
that sounds like something I'd want to do, you know, just get in a van and go see what happens, you know?
Oh yeah, it's fun.
It was fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you already have, well, I know the answer, but I'll go ahead and ask anyway. Did you already have the stuff booked before you went?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd
We
like to
did.
just go, you know,
Yeah,
and just
we-
see a bar and stop and say, hey man, we're
Take that kind of punk
can we
rock
plug in?
and punk rock approach to it. That would be cool. And I think
Yeah.
as musicians and growing up back in the 90s and the 2000s and knowing the 80s and stuff like that, watching old movies, you know, that's kind of like part of it.
Yeah.
You know, we got to get on the
growing
road. It's just us
experience, yeah.
3 or 4, whoever you got in the band, and you're sleeping and eating the same sandwich. And, you know, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
We're a little fucking fat to be eating the same sandwich.
Fair enough. But, you know, when you're only making $50,
Yeah.
he don't eat anything, so we're good.
Fair. That's fair. I don't.
They don't eat much.
So
Pretty
we got the spring
self-sufficient.
coming in the summer. So I imagine you guys are booked up for a little bit. Where can we go to find your all schedule, where you're going to be, so we can come see you live?
We put out posts every week on our social media, on our Facebook page. We every week we start off and we'll post our shows for the week. I think the website's still being kept up pretty up
It
to
is.
date for a month or so out.
Okay.
But yeah, all the normal social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I don't know what all we're doing.
I'll have, you know,
Yeah. So we're going to get a list of all those stuff for the links, just like all the other bands that you guys seen us have. We'll put those links in the bottom. Go click on them and check out their schedule. So have you guys ever had any kind of disagreements with each other? Or
All the time.
all the time?
All the time.
Is it song choices or is it when you're making original? I guess, you know, different things happen at different times, but
I think it's more the business part of it.
Yeah, that's what I was
Okay.
gonna say. It's more
Yeah.
the business aspect of it than it
Yeah.
is anything else. Yeah.
Disagreement's a good word. It's not like it's not an issue, but yeah, when you, I don't know, there ain't no way around it.
if you draw it down
Yeah.
to disagreements, like an everyday type thing, it's of course like, no, that's stupid. No, we're not doing
Yeah.
that shit.
yeah.
Yeah, as far as band fights, we've maybe had
Yeah.
2. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
no,
like,
Well, I guess
So-
fight's not the right word. is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
the
I
fight
mean, everybody's going to have disagreements, but the reason I ask that is every band's going to have disagreements, right? I'm just wondering, you know, different bands handle that different ways, you know, so, you know, it seems like the older bands can get over that pretty easy, but, you know, the newer bands just, I mean, back in 22, so you guys been to what, 2 years now? Almost 3 years?
Yeah.
It was just now 3 years because I guess February of
Yeah.
22 is when we officially started rehearsing for the band.
Yeah, so you're probably at the point now where those agreements are, you know, your ways around it, how to
Oh, yeah.
how to work that stuff out.
Yeah, we have a really good track record of being able to sit down and smooth everything out.
It
We're really
goes
good
back
about-
to the drinking a beer
Yeah.
for the first time, you know, and being able to
Yeah.
get along and understand. We played at this point, what, 300 and some change
Yeah.
as far as shows are concerned. So we're around each other a lot.
Sure.
We're
All the
at
time.
this point,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
family. And so it's just one of those, go to your room and get over it.
Right.
Cry to yourself if you're mad about
Right.
something.
Yeah.
And we'll see you
Well,
tomorrow
that's what I
at
do.
practice. You know,
When I get in an argument with my wife, I just go in the bedroom and cry. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
come out a half hour later, everything's good. You know, that's how I work it.
Yeah, no, a lot of the times it comes down to we'll just sit down and talk to each other and figure out what somebody's problem is, and then they'll get voted down, and it's like, all right, well, I guess you can quit being a bitch about it, and we're just going to go on from here.
Yep.
It sucks that you don't like it, but this is what we've decided to do. But
we disagree with everything Keith says.
Sure.
You
Yeah,
can't-
and he says a lot. So.
Yeah, we can't shut them up most of the
So,
time.
yeah. most of the
as the
time.
oldest guy, he's the newest guy.
I'm going to get to you
Right.
guys with questions here as soon as you know Keith lets us in here. So
He's right at a year now. We haze him all the time.
yeah,
He sits by the beer fridge, by the trash can.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
wishing he was there, reaching across to his side of the bed. She told herself she's given everything she's had to give. She can't turn back, she knows he'll never change. It's another sunrise over her eyes this morning. That look in his eyes says she's told him goodbye. But he'll make damn sure there's nothing worth coming home to this time. A farewell kiss lingers on his lips, but dear John knows a tail lights fading down the road. Yeah, he'll be fine, this ain't his last rodeo. He woke up on the road again, trying to shake the night before, wiping away the sin from his eye. Reaching for the phone so he could hear her voice once more. All he heard was silence, then she slammed the door. It's another sunrise over her eyes this morning. That look in his eyes says she's told him goodbye. He'll make damn sure there's nothing worth coming home to this time. Farewell kiss lingers on his lips, but dear John knows a tail lights fading down the road. Yeah, he'll be fine, this ain't his last rodeo. Can't live without him, she can't live with him. He'll drown herself, she won't even remember. He'll never get old, she's long forgotten about. So it's another sunrise over her eyes this morning. That look in his eyes says she's told him goodbye. But he'll make damn sure there's nothing worth coming home to this time. Farewell kiss lingers on his lips, but dear John knows a tail lights fading down the road. Yeah, he'll be fine, this ain't his last rodeo.
All right, welcome back. We've been having a good time. I'm not going to do it. I promise.
Maybe too much.
I'm not going to do it.
Good.
I gave Keith my word, and I'm going to keep my word.
I'm just saying, Keith doesn't really
But
get a
I do
vote.
have a story to. No, I'm just kidding.
We haven't given Keith a full 25% of the vote on the what goes out. So
Still 33-3.
So speaking of that, so I know some of you are married. Is everyone married here? All four of you?
I'm not technically, but she'll have something to say about that when she
Okay.
sees
Okay.
it.
Well, the reason I ask is, how do you guys work the family life? Because all bands are busy. You know, the rehearsing, you know, the gigs, every weekend you're out doing something.
Yeah.
I mean, it really takes, I think, somebody special or maybe not special to be able to put up with that kind of stuff, to be able to let you follow what you want to do.
Yes.
So I'm sure there's a lot of give and a lot of take with that. So is there something that, since your better half, I'm not going to say woman, but hey, listen, I don't know your whole situation. I'm just, just bringing it. So your better half, do you let them get away with stuff too, since they let you get away with what you're doing? I mean, are they, I imagine they come to all your shows probably, or most of them are maybe.
No, they've heard this show 400 times. They're not, they're not interested.
I'll take this one. In the first part of it, they were all there and everything. And then we got Keith, and we've all had our spaces, but to say that they're all great women and they take care of us on the outside of that. On the other flip side, they have their own hobbies too, so it helps on both ends. But they're also involved, just like we were saying earlier. Tara's involved with the booking. Yeah. Tanya also is. My girlfriend Randa, she does a lot with the social media type stuff and taking pictures and all that. Our album cover, she took that pictures and all that kind of stuff. And Amy's involved with some stuff too, so it's easy. Yeah, it's a lot easier. And we've actually gotten very big compliments from venues and other people that they're like, "Oh, that's a very rare thing to have is not just your wives, but your whole family." Because our kids are involved and all that kind of stuff too.
Awesome.
So, another thing that we started doing, I mean, because like I say, this is the third year that we've been doing it. At the start of the year, we let all the wives get together and they take the calendar, and it's hard for them to go a year in advance, but a lot of the times they'll go ahead and individually they'll take days off the calendar that they want to plan something or whatever, which is still not quite fair because things come up, but they're involved with it to where it's not nobody's really upset about blocking time off the calendar. Yeah. I mean, when the families want to do stuff and we make plans, and I mean, we all do family vacations and things like that. And so, there'll be one of us individually marked off for a week at whatever spot. But yeah, they do put up with a lot for us to do this. Yeah. A lot.
So is there any shout outs you want to get to everybody? Cause I'm really excited to hear this next song, and we're probably going to end it right here and let you guys get to it. So is there anything that you guys want to bring up that I haven't asked you to get out to your fans? Maybe somebody's asked you a question to your fans and that I didn't ask it. Maybe you can answer it here for people, or just say, hi mom, or whatever you want to do.
Hey, the typicals, follow us on the socials and look us up on the website. Buy a CD. We've got merch. We're actually in the process of getting our online merch store and all that. Otherwise, come out and see us, because that's the best time you're going to have.
Yeah, we want to see everybody. The biggest things, come out and see us. That's what keeps us in these places. If we can't get anybody to come out and see us, then they don't want to have it. They don't want to have us back anyway. Sure. But yeah, I guess other than that, I don't know.
I know I said it earlier. It's kind of the cliche, but I really do think we have some of the best fans in the world. I mean, they support us. They come out. They're the reason we get to do what we get to do. So thank you.
The only thing I got to say is no, Diego, no.
Now see, listen, I wasn't going to say anything, but now you're bringing it up.
No, you brought it up.
You brought it up.
Yeah, we'll close it right there.
No.
But you can't now.
We can't now.
It's in the ethos,
we'll have to cut this whole 10 minutes out and redo it if we don't tell this story.
My. It's been 10 minutes. Let's go.
Hey, we're going to end that now. I tell you what, I bet you if you go to these guys' live show and ask them about this story, they'll tell you offline. So,
the shot and a smile will do that.
And believe me, you want to hear the story, so get your butts to the show. Like we said in the description, all the links that we talked about, we'll have in there. If they have the merch store up by the time this goes out, we'll put that in there also. Go support your local guys. Help us out if you subscribe. I know you hear that a million times, but to help us keep doing what we're doing, we do this all on our own time. So all we ask is just hit the little button. Help us out. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time. See ya.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, man.
I'm hanging on tight, the very end of my road. Headed out of town, a couple of miles to a small oasis where there's laughter and smiles. We'll throw a few back, act like there's nothing wrong. So here's to the ones that's had enough. Cheers to the ones still hanging tough. Regular folks just like us, trying to survive, barely getting by. You keep the beer ice cold and the well overflowing. Set 'em up, Joe, hey, let's get it going. If you bartender, pour me another light. No matter what you got going on in your life, it's always better than neon light. So here's to the ones that's had enough. Cheers to the ones still hanging tough. To the regular folks just like us, trying to survive, barely getting by. You keep the beer ice cold and the well overflowing. Set 'em up, Joe, hey, let's get it going. For you bartender, pour me another light. Here's to you bartender, pour me another light. Hey!
Thanks for watching. Hope you liked the video. YouTube thinks you like some of our other content, which is over here. Subscribe to us, comment, let us know how we're doing.